Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well today. So this video, I want to talk to you about major depressive disorder, which is one of my ending diagnoses from the psychiatric facility after I left. And I spoke to my therapist about it. She said, of course, this doesn't cover all the symptoms and stuff, which is beside the point because I want to make a video about this. So I did my research and research the symptoms and what the after effects of the symptoms could be, because I'm at the mercy of research just like everybody else who's not a doctor or a licensed psychiatrist, so on and so forth. But I think I've come up with a pretty good idea of what this is. So in order to be diagnosed with this, you have to be in a depressed mood throughout the day, almost every day. And I experience this. I really do experience this every day. I mean, I come into work and I go home, and throughout the entire day, I just feel a depression. I mean, I feel terrible. I don't know why. I just do. And probably the next video, I'm gonna give you a backstory with me on how I believe a lot of these mental illnesses came about. Of course, like I said, I don't know for sure, but it's what I can gather. Anyway, so back to the point. You can have diminished interest in almost all activities nearly every day. And what I mean by that is I need to go cut the grass, but I don't feel like doing it. I just don't know why. I just don't feel like doing it. Which, I do cut my grass, don't get me wrong, but that's just an example. Or writing. I enjoy writing. I do. I don't know why. I just do. But it's just something that I have an urge to do, and I just, I'll get to writing and depression will set in, and I'll just lose interest in doing it. And then some people may experience weight loss or weight gain, eating too much or eating too little. I think I eat a little too much, honestly. I was $150 in high school, soaking wet. Here I am, 31 now. I'm 220 pounds. But I think that's just normal, though. Probably. I mean, metabolism slows down when we get older. It's just common. We also, sleep too much or sleep too little. For me, I sleep too little. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes and can't go back to sleep. Or, heck, I could go to bed at midnight and wake up at 4 in the morning or 3 and not be able to go back to sleep for 2 or 3 hours because my brain starts just racing. And that's partly because of ADHD, but I think too much. Just the only way to put it, I think too much. And we also have a lot of psychomotor agitation or retardation. And don't take that word offensive, because I hate the word retard or retarded. I can't stand it when it's used derogatory. Sets me off nearly every time. But retardation, I think most of us know it means to slow down. Psychomotor agitation. Of course, the psychomotor relates to the origination of movement in our conscious mental activity. And when you agitate that, psychomotor agitation is movements that serve no purpose, such as tapping the table or rocking your heel. It just serves no purpose. And I think that comes from mania and anxiety, which I do a lot of extreme movements, a lot that really make no sense whatsoever. But and so retardation, of course, the opposite is slowing down of thoughts and a reduction in physical movements in an individual, which I experience this a lot too. You know, I could be walking across the road and there'd be a car coming and I'll just steadily be walking like nothing's there. Why, I do not know. Not that I want to get hit by the car, but it's just something I do for some reason. Or, you know, things around me can be quickly falling and I'll be slow to move out the way. And it's just, I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. And the fatigue or loss of energy nearly every day. I feel that a lot going to work and stuff like that. I think most of us do though. But you know, even when I'm at home not doing that now, I just feel tired for some reason. And not want to do anything. And of course that's common. You know, most people with major depressive disorder have that. And then you've got the feelings of worthlessness, or excessive or inappropriate guilt. You know, if you feel like you're not worth anything, you feel like you know, your life isn't worth anything. You haven't done anything worth living for. You know, or like I said, excessive or inappropriate guilt. You know, I feel guilty about something that happened a long time ago, and I just keep feeling the guilt, keep beating myself up over it, and but it's something that happened in the past, and I can't change it. And I think sometimes these feelings can rise to the level of delusional. And what I mean by that is saying, hey, you know, I messed this up, but if I can go back and change it, I'll be okay. Or, you know, I'm trying my best to find out how to build a time machine, even though time machines don't exist. It just exists in movies, and I guess you can't build one these days. I don't know. I mean, with all the crazy technology out there, there's no telling what you can do. But that's not real. I mean, in all honesty. But what I mean by delusional is, you know, you can think it's real, regardless of what somebody else says, and nobody can talk you out of it. Depression can cause delusions, such as, you know, you think you're a higher being sent by, you know, God or, you know, whatnot, to be the savior of the world, when the Bible clearly says that Jesus is the savior of the world. And but you believe that. You believe that, you know, you're right, everybody else is wrong. And that's what I mean by delusions. There's all kind of different types of delusions. Maybe I'll do a video on it one day. And this it's especially common in schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder. My friend Michael, who I mentioned before, that was his mental disorder. He had schizoaffective disorder, and which is a combination between schizophrenia and bipolar disorder or depressive disorder or whatnot. You're adding to schizophrenia, basically. As far as I know, like I said, I'm not a doctor, but from what I've read on it, that's what I've gathered. But he believed that and it was just mainly for a night or so, he believed that he was God in the flesh, and I was an angel sent to sit on his right side. You know, I think the worst thing you can do when someone is being delusional like that is to try to talk them out of it, or try to, you know, tell them they're wrong or whatnot, because a lot of times stuff like that can make things worse. So I was kind of just sitting there as he was telling me this. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Excuse me. But yeah, that was an interesting night to say the least. You know, he's a good man. I don't knock on him. He's got issues just like me. So he was amazing dude though. So you can have trouble concentrating. I experience this all the time. Like I will have like a freaking time lapse when I'm checking out a customer at work. I could literally be in a time lapse. And what I mean by that is as I'm checking him out, I will like, I don't know, I lose a level of consciousness for a minute. It's not like being knocked unconscious or anything, but I will like, I don't know. I need to do some more research on that, but I will feel like it has been an eternity since I've been checking that customer out, which in reality it's only been maybe 30 seconds. I mean, I don't understand it. That is something that is beyond me. Maybe I'll ask my therapist about it or my psychiatrist. So that might be a good thing. So, and then one of the most deadly ones is the reoccurring thoughts of death or suicide. And if you have feelings of suicide, thoughts of suicide, and you have a plan, you need to call somebody. And I'm serious about this because you don't know how many people will be hurt by that who actually do love you. And it may be hard to think that someone cares when you feel like nobody understands you, but they really do. They really do care. They may not understand, but they do care. And I think most people get irritated because they don't know how to help you. But if you or somebody you know is going to attempt suicide, please call 911 or please call the suicide prevention hotline or call somebody. Sometimes it just takes somebody to show you that they care to stop you from doing that. Because yes, I mean, you may get rid of all your problems if you do it. But, I mean, and looking at it from a logical point of view, yes, it will take care of all your problems because you won't be here. But at the same time, we've got to look at the effects on others. When I attempted suicide just a few weeks ago before I went into the hospital. And having these psychotic breaks, I finally decided it's time to get some help. It's time to do something because this is not normal. And I'm sure that there are people out here who are going to tell me, well, you don't understand what I'm going through, or you don't understand what's going on. Nothing is worth taking your own life. Nothing. Everything is fixable. I mean, aside from chronic medical disorders, mental disorders, stuff like that. But everything on the outside of that is fixable. I mean, you got a car that got repoed. I don't know. I mean, you have a house that got repoed. That is something that can be fixed. Or you can just go buy another one. And I know that's easier said than done, but my point is everything is fixable. There's nothing worth taking your own life. And don't be afraid to go get help. Don't be afraid of that because, we are all prideful to a certain degree. We all have our own little pride issues, but there's such a stigma around mental illness right now that, you feel like people will look down on you or they might talk bad about you or whatnot. And, they may not want to hang out with you or whatnot. I mean, there's 100 different things that you could think of. But it's just like a cancer. I mean, if you had a cure for cancer, wouldn't you go get it? It's just, and in that same sense, there's treatment for mental illnesses. There's treatment out there. But we've got to let go of our pride and admit to ourselves that we need help. Because all in all, in the end, you control you. You control you. Nobody else can make a decision for you or control your life but you. Because we have to make our own decisions to get ourselves better and be able to acclimate to society. Nobody can do it but you. And I mean that. I've learned that the hard way. But anyway, back to what I was saying though about this disorder. You can't, when you have this disorder, you have to get on medication. You have to get something that will help. That's be a doctor, psychiatrist. Talk to them. Tell them what your symptoms are. Tell them what's going on with you. Because honestly, we could tell them anything. And, they won't deny it at first. But be honest with them. Be honest with them. Tell them everything that's going on. I see people all the time that fake, certain things, but, and that's a whole nother story. But, you can't hold anything back when you talk to your doctors. Believe me, I have a therapist, and I have told her the wildest stuff, and she still looks at me with a caring eye and wants to help. And my psychiatrist the same way. So there's nothing you can tell them that won't surprise them or that won't scare them away. Besides if you threaten them, which I highly do not recommend you do, because they're there to help. But anyway, guys, that's all I have for today. I may do a video on my life story and where I came from and how I grew up and what I think brought on the onset of a lot of these mental illnesses. But that's a story for another day. Thank you, guys. I want you to like, comment, and subscribe and share these videos. Help me reach as many people as I can. Let's try to end the stigma around mental illness. Let's try to create more awareness for people and, to the society that we have today. Let's fight for that. Let's fight for our own mental health and the mental health of our peers. And if you have a mental illness, don't give up. Don't give up. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. Keep fighting that battle. And to those of you who don't, create awareness. Create awareness, because we all know somebody that has one. Or we've come across people that have mental illnesses. But we can change. We can change the world. We can do it. Anyway, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.